What's up, you guys? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today on Dress to Kill, or Daily Grind, or Snapshot, or whatever it is that you want this to be, we are going to go ahead and finish up all of the cosmetic items that are available from Baro Gatir. Alright, so I feel like I've said this about a million bajillion times, but basically Baro Gatir is going to be coming down this weekend in a very special relay for any TennoCon 2017 digital pass holders. I think it's also available to basically anyone who has like a ticket, but you know, for those of you who can't attend TennoCon 2017 live, there is going to be this special relay where Baro Gatir will have all of his items available. So as you know, like, well, as I know, I've literally been going through and writing down all of the items that he could possibly be carrying, and this is just accessories, y'all. This is just accessories. So I wanted to go ahead and make a little bit of a comprehensive tool that lets you figure out what the hell you want to purchase and what should be your priorities if you don't have all of the ducats or all of the credits in the world. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave a card up in the corner with the previous videos that has to do with the Warframe specific cosmetics. These ones are going to be everything else. I've actually called this the Pimp Your Blank series. Because we're gonna go from pimping your flying ship thing, whatever it's called, your landing craft, all the way to pimping your pets. Oh, maybe pimping your pets isn't a really good word for it. Regardless, that's what we're doing today. So if you guys want to see more of that, go ahead and stay tuned. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to be pressing you guys with what I feel are my must-haves. Now, I'm going to be pressing these onto you guys really strongly, mainly because of the fact that I think that you'll be kicking yourselves later down the line if you don't have them in your inventory. Some of them might seem benign, but I don't know. A part of me is like, you'll regret it if you don't get it. Oh, that's a good motto. We're going to stick with that. Now, the first, you'll regret it if you don't get it item is going to be the Prisma Shade. Now, you know that I am not the kind of person that really cares too much about Sentinels. However, the thing that I do want to impress upon you guys is its extra mastery rank, because it's not just the Prisma Shade, it's also the Prisma Burst fire laser thing that comes along with it, and that is mastery. Now, a lot of people don't really give a shit about mastery, and you know, mastery rank doesn't really matter when you're judging someone. But at the end of the day, the way I look at mastery rank is kind of like, it's not going to matter until the day that it does matter, and then when it does matter, you'll be kicking yourself for not having the mastery rank. At least that's the way I see it. Whether it has something to do with focus, whether it has something to do with weapon lockouts, I think it's better to have it than not to have it. And as you can see, the Prisma Shade is actually a pretty good model here. So it's an increase to armor from 50 to 75 and an increase to shields. So if you look at it here too, it's got a really pretty metallic that goes along with it. And I'll actually go and show you the default appearance. So that's the default appearance. It's the standard Prisma look to it. And it's actually not terrible. And it's like a adorable flying lump. You know, it still can't give you huggles and snuggles like you can get from a Kubrow or a what is it called, a Kubrow or a Cobot. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Prisma Burst Laser real fast. Here's a burst laser. So as you can see, it's got more critical chance, it's got a higher critical multiplier, it's got a higher status chance, and it's got more damage in it. So that's definitely a plus. It's a bonus on all ends. I mean, you can't see it because it's not, you know, pretty and all in your face and stuff, but it's there and the graphic is all prismy. So definitely pick that one up. It is 500 ducats and 300,000 credits. So get that. Get your mastery rank on, make sure that you are prepared for anything that comes your way. Alright, so the next on the get it or you'll regret it list is definitely the Prisma Sigil. This one I've been a big fan of. It's 50 ducats and 50,000 credits, so it's really not that expensive at all, but it is one of my favorite sigils out there. As I've gone over this in the past, it's got a really cool gradient too, which you can actually match up to the Warframe itself, so it kind of blends in easily, and as you can see, it even kind of falls into certain lines. That's kind of like how I use it. Is I find whatever the frame's base color is, and then I kind of match it up to that energy color. So this is the primary color, so this is the energy color, and then up here it blends into whatever you create this color. So you can actually link that up into certain I guess you would say certain structures of the Warframes and kind of set it in, and it looks really cool. It's got a cool effect to it. It's not completely over the top where it's just like blinding your face off, but it's a great accent. So definitely pick this one up. It's for me, I use this more than many other sigils that I have in my repertoire. So pick this one up. All right, so the next one is definitely going to show my bias. However, there is reasoning for it, okay? There is specific reasoning for it, so do not come after me. This next one is the Cobot Nexus Gene Masking Kit. So no, it's not just the fur pattern. So this does come with the fur pattern. Yes, you see the Nexus Cobot fur pattern, but it also comes with several colors. And that's the reason why I definitely wanted to point it out there, because it's not just, you know, a skin. It's also something that you can use on your Kubrows and your Cobot. So the first color that goes along with it is Nidus White, and I believe it's a pretty bright white. It's a pretty fucking in-your-face bright white. Then we have Mesa Blue, which I've definitely used on a couple occasions. It's kind of like, I want to say it's like a royalish blue. Yep, there you go. It's very cobalt, almost verging on electric, but not quite there. Ignis Red, for you guys who love bright colors, this is like a flashy magenta. It's crazy. Like, look at that. That is absolutely nuts. And then, of course, Darvo Purple. I'm kind of meh on this one, but for me, it's like it's better to have these colors than not to have these colors, right? We're not going to equip any of those because I like this look as it is. But that's why I definitely think that you should pick this up, because it's not just a skin for your Cobot, it's also a color picker as well. Now, while we're at it, let's give a little bit of love to our Kubrow friends with the Nexus Kubrow fur pattern. Now, this one does not come with a color palette. It is a little bit cheaper than the Gene Masking Kit. It's only 150 ducats and 300,000 credits, and it's actually a pretty good pattern. So if you're looking for something different for your Kubrow, I won't necessarily say that this is a must-have, but I figured we just cover the Cobot one, we might as well cover the Kubrow version, right? Oh, you gotta be all fair. All right, so last but not least is the Inaro Captura Tomb Scene, and this is available for 325 ducats and 175,000 credits. Now, as you can see, this place is pretty gosh darn beautiful. There's some amazing lighting effects that happen with this, and you get this really cool interior. You can use these hallways as like one thing and then go into this interior, which is amazing. I mean, you can even see the fabric textures that are flowing down from that. There's some little cool little alcoves where you can take shots into. It's absolutely fantastic. So I would highly suggest picking this one up. This is, you know, get it or you're gonna regret it. Alright, so moving along from my must-haves is another kind of must-have. This is going to be the Pimp My Landing Craft section. As you can see, we've got all of the Prisma skins available for the entire fleet, but I wanted to go ahead and show them off to you real quick. So my first favorite is the Prisma Lisette, and this one's actually the cheapest of the bunch. It's 120 ducats and 150,000 credits. I just fucking love... I've always loved the shape of the Lisette itself, but I love the gradation from the dome and the kind of mistiness that comes from its jets. I am a big fan. Next up is going to be the Prisma Xiphos, and the reason I like this is because I love the sentry gun. I know that's, like, I mean, cool, Ordis gets the hack systems and the other one you get some nice voice lines from him, but this one you get a sentry gun. It's so cool, and I do love the gradation that kind of occurs throughout the sides and the bars. You don't get as much of the misty energy, like, expulsion as you do from the Lisette, but I don't know if I already said it, but this one is 220 ducats and 400,000 credits. Now, moving along, we have the Mantis. The Mantis is 230 ducats and 375k credits. This one, it's nice. It's not my favorite of the bunch. The shape is okay, but it's fine. I don't know. It's fine. If you like the Mantis, I'm not gonna dog on you. Did I do rotations for the Xiphos? Did I? There you go. We're gonna get the rotations for the Xiphos in there for you. Now, the one of that I can't really stand by, and I'm just, you know, I've put this out there in other reviews before, but the Scimitar one, which is available for 210 ducats and 450k credits. There's some weirdness on it that I'm not super fond of. There's some roughness in the textures where it has these kind of cool cutouts that, because I think the cutout sections where you can see some of the energy flowing is really cool. However, the texturing on them it does not look great. It almost looks like it splits in feathers a little bit. So I would say hard pass on the Scimitar unless you really love the Scimitar. However, there are some other skins that you can look into that I think are a little bit better. But if you do like this one, because I mean, carpet bombing is pretty fucking cool. 210 ducats and 450,000 credits. Alright, so the last two items on the Pimp Your Landing Craft set are complete wastes of pretty much everything, but I mean, get them if you want them. And the first one is going to be the Baro Gatir Noggle, which is available for 70 ducats and 250,000 credits. I mean, if you want one for your Noggle collection, definitely go ahead and pick it up just to round off your sets. However, I don't necessarily find it something that I'm clamoring to go run out and grab. And the last bit that we have is the Prime Pedestal. Now these Prime Pedestals are available for 1 million credits. They're completely useless. They just kind of sit on your ship and they have cool glowy bits, but they are interesting ways to kind of like present certain things. So, I mean, you can kind of take a look at that and use them in displays and whatnot, but beyond that, there's really no use in having them, except for the fact to say that you have, the millions and millions of credits and that you can use them. You can build yourself an ITAN robot using them and your other ITANs though. So just in case you're one of those crazy, like, I don't know, like Lisette fashion framers, you do that. I see you and I love you for it. Alright, so now that we're done pimping our ship, we're gonna go ahead and move into pimping our operator. That doesn't sound good, especially for underage children. It's okay, we're keeping the take. Let's just continue moving on. So the first thing that we've got over here is the Gatir earpieces, and as you can see, they're these crazy earrings that have cool energy effects, and they have, it looks like a little diamond, like a little prismatic gem thing that is being projected out there. So if you're into big chunky earpieces, that's definitely a go-to, and this will be 500 ducats and 400,000 credits. Now, if 2 is maybe too much for you, you can always go solo, and that's basically the same thing. It looks actually to be a little bit smaller if you look at it. So there's the big ones, here's the solo, it's a smaller piece, and this one is available for 250 ducats and 200,000 credits. The last bit right here is the one that everybody always makes jokes about, turn into Bane, and that is the Atmos Breather, or the Gatir Atmos Mask. This is available for 500 ducats and 400,000 credits. I'm gonna do a hard pass, but hey, if you like it, who am I to judge you? Whatever you want to do to your operator, with your operator, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut right here and move along. Alright, so now that we're done with operator customizations, we're gonna go ahead and move on to companion customizations, because you know we can't say pimp now that I feel really guilty that we said that stuff. So first things first, we're gonna take a look at this set right here, which is all of the accessories for the Sentinels. These ones are the Prisma ones specifically. So the total for these, the Prisma Mech Head, the Prisma Jet Wings, and the Prisma Koi Tail, are 670 ducats and 600,000 credits. So as you can see, they carry through the Prisma theme. I've never really been the biggest fan of the Jet Sentinel wings, but I do really like the Mech Head and the Koi Tail. I don't know, there's just something about them that I think is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like this is just a little lumpy bumpy. The Mech Head is 175 ducats, 200,000 credits. Jet Wings is 300 ducats, 200,000 credits as well, and the Koi Tail is 200 ducats and 200,000 credits. All in all, I think it's actually pretty. I mean, I'd probably replace the wings with something else, or maybe not even use the wings at all. But on the Prism Shade, I think it's gorgeous. All right, so the next one is a bit of a blast from the past because I've not used this version of Helios in ages, but I remembered. I was like, oh yeah, shit, I had a customization for that. So I wanted to go ahead and pull this one out of the vaults, and we're taking a look at the Gatir Sentinel armor set right here. So as you can see, we have the Gatir Sentinel mask, wings, and tail. All of this, like if you're planning on buying the set, 1,300 ducats. That's a little bit painful. And then we also have 700,000 credits, or 700,000 credits. It's pretty fucking pricey. And on top of that, if you're wondering, I am using the Helios Samara skin, so that's in addition to everything. That's where you kind of get these cool little prismatic-y parts right here that you can see in the middle. But what you'll be getting is these cool wings with, you know, the I guess you want to call them diamond projections, both on the front and the back. So the mask is 500 ducats and 200,000 credits. The wings are 400 ducats and 250,000 credits, and the tail is 400 ducats and also 250,000 credits. So I mean, to me, I'm gonna have to try this on my Helios my Helios Prime at some point, but I love the shit out of this customization. I always thought it looked so cool, and definitely harkened back to my original Loki Prime, which was, you know, rocking these kind of colors. I was like, oh, it's just a nice throwback. Alright, so from Sentinels back to our companions, we've got Lyndon sporting the Nexus Kubrow armor, and you know, I gotta keep it real with y'all. Just know I don't really like this one whatsoever. This almost feels like cruel and unusual punishment to the pet. Like, the edges are sharp. I don't know if he can see in that thing. It doesn't seem that great. It's cool metallics. I mean, I guess if you want it to go with something else, you know, fashion is pain. You kind of got to put up with it to look cool. But this, to me, I feel like he got his head stuck in a box. And, like, the lid, like, got on his head for some reason. The only thing that I like about it is, like, the shoes are kind of cool. But beyond that, I'm gonna do a hard pass. But if you like it, you know what? Don't let me hold you back. This is available for 500,000 ducats and 250,000 credits. However, it does look like animal cruelty. Now, from Kubrows to Cobots, we have the Gatir Cobot Armor, and this... Ooh, I just played with it again and I realized why I did not like it so much. I visually like the looks of it. However, the color coding on this makes me a little bit insane. The coolest part to me is this kind of like front part, which has like the diamond projection. The puppy version just did not even have that, which makes me feel like it was a little bit bland. But the one thing that kills me about this is the accent color right here. Oh no, the accent color right here is number one, not the metallic, which, you know, makes me crazy when they don't put the right things in the right places. But why are you gonna tie the main metallic, you see how like the diamonds have the metal thing, to the primary color? Why are you tying those two things together? They should be on this, it's just my opinion, they should be tied on two different rungs completely, because this is not doing it. You can't do a good rose gold on it without effing up the whole entire outfit. So this is going to be a hard pass for me. I'm putting that out there in the universe. But if you guys really like this, and I'm saying hard pass because I'm frustrated because it looks like it could be good. It looks really nice. It's almost there. It was like close to the finish line, and then it decided to lay down like 5 feet away from it. He just stopped. And I'm like, no, we needed this. I was rooting for you. This is available for 500 ducats and 275 credits. If you do want to play around with it, if you can kind of work around that metallic bit, it does have the cool front energy portion. And I really do like the way that this kind of sits and frames the head. Like, look at that. It's a cool diamond pattern thing. I like it. It was just so close, and that's why it's so frustrating that it just was not a hit. Ooh. Alright, so last, and personally to me, the very least of the bunch is the YSAR Day of the Dead Cobot Armor. Personally, you know how I feel about the Day of the Dead stuff. It all looks like something that you found at Target, possibly in their dollar store area. It's not my favorite, and I don't know, there's just something about it that kind of makes me feel like it's like clearance sale holiday area thing. Just putting that out into the universe. This is available for 415 ducats and 175,000 credits. I'm sorry. I like the shoes. You know, the shoes have a cool little turned up thing. I like the little back details. I like the general shape of it. But if you're going to do this, just go ahead. And I think there's just the normal YSAR Cobot Armor. Just pick that one up instead. I like that one better. It doesn't have all of the ridiculous, crazy patterning to it, and you can customize it a little bit better. That's just my opinion. You do you. Personally, for me, this is a stay away from. Did I name the price? If I didn't, you don't need to know. So from a living weapon onto something a little less inanimate, we're going to go ahead and pimp our weapons. Because I could say that now, it's not a living thing, and it doesn't sound like I'm participating in prostitution. We're going to go ahead and jump straight in with the Pyra Sugatra. Now, the Pyra Sugatra is basically an attachment that you can use on any of your melee weapons. It's really fiery, it's really flamey. It's probably not the best shown on a glaive, but at least you guys can see the visuals of it. It's got really cool energy effects. It looks kind of like the spine of a dinosaur on fire. If you're into that, definitely pick this one up. It is available for 100 ducats and 200,000 credits. I'll be honest with you, this is actually one of the, how do I put this, customizations that you see a lot that was picked up from Gatir, so it's pretty gosh darn popular. I'm not the most into it, however, you know, it does the job. Moving along, we have the Gatir Sugatra. I'm never a fan of any of the Sugatras that have a hard attachment point. So if you notice, it's just kind of like firm up until there, and then it just kind of flops over like a limp penis. Everything's like a limp penis to me. However, it does have some cool energy effects onto it. As you can see, there's like a little diamond dangle within it. That's pretty gosh darn cool. It probably will show up on a weapon better if it's not like 3 different floppy ones around, but I wanted to make sure that you guys are very aware of the what's the word I want to say, of the way it moves, its movement. And that's the word I'm going for. And you get to see 3 different variations of it here. So there you go. That is the Gatir Sugatra. It's not the worst physics. The word I was going for is physics. It's not the worst physics that I've seen. However, it's definitely not my favorite. This one is available for 250 ducats and 250,000 credits. So pick that up if you like it. It's not the worst thing that I've seen. Definitely not the best either though. Alright, so moving on from that, we actually have a couple of different arrow skins that are available. So we have Prisma arrows, which you can see right here. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of the weird hookness to it. It looks really, really strange. I do like the energy effect that kind of like goes and flows through it, but legitimately for me, it just isn't a hit. It's a little bit too plain. And that one is available for 350 ducats and 75k credits. Now, of course, this is available for all of your bows. You can use this as an attachment. All you have to do is go in to your bow and then go ahead and pick your attachment to it, and then you can get into that area and pick out which ones you want. Now, the next one, of course, we have the Prisma, the Gatir arrow skin. The Gatir arrow skin is a little bit cooler, and the one thing that I do have to put out there into the universe, you've probably seen a couple other YouTubers use it. This actually emits like a trail of diamonds in its wake. When I say diamonds, I mean that little prism thing in its wake, and this one is available for 375 ducats and 300,000 credits. This one, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I can't necessarily say that I hate it either. It's really, really different. The back end of it has 2 diamonds kind of coming out of it. I think it's pretty. Do I think it's a winner? Not 100%. I actually really like the Stylus arrow skin, which you can pick up in the market. But, you know, if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for something with a really cool effect, this is definitely something to pick up. Alright, so if you are a Redeemer fan, this really falls into the get it or you're gonna regret it list. Because this is one of the most beautiful skins that we have seen out of Baro Gatir, and I almost kind of wish that he had done this style of skin for a bunch of other weapons. So this is the Redeemer Elixir skin, and oh my god, it's got like a gorgeous gradient attached to it. It's just, the texturing is beautiful, and it just kind of like elevates the way that the Redeemer looks. And as you can see right here, you can create a gradient with it, which I am like, oh my god, I cannot believe my body and my soul. You can do a gradient legitimately from like that pinky fake rose gold color into an actual like rose gold. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Look at that. I mean, that's just right there. Right there, it's a winner for me. Definitely pick this one up. This one is available for, where are you on my list? You are available for 325 ducats and 250,000 credits. If you like the Redeemer, get it. And the potential for dual wielding, I know everybody has been kind of like, it's been on everybody's lips. You're like, please let us have the secondary, you know, the secondary sword and gun with an actual pistol. That would be crazy. So definitely something to consider. Alright, so moving along is the Quanta Off-Way skin. I'm never going to be able to say it right, you guys. And this one is available for 300 ducats and 300,000 credits. Personally, it looks terrible. I mean, to be honest with you, right here in this light, it looks absolutely disgusting. But the one thing that I do have to put out there is if you are using the Quanta Vandal, it is the only way to color the Quanta Vandal, because you still can't color the Quanta Vandal in any way, shape, or form. So if you want something to cover it up, you can toss on the Halfway skin, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy the Warframe colors. It doesn't look as bad when you start playing around with it. In fact, I'm going to go show you my Loki, the Knave version. You can kind of like make it look less crazy, I guess you would say, with all that ridiculous patterning to it. You can kind of like dull it down a little bit to make it look like a more worn and weathered version of the Quanta. I'm just crossing our fingers that one day we can go ahead and get tinting and coloring for the Quanta Vandal and the other Vandal weapons. But in the meantime, if you want something to cover that up and you're a fan of the Quanta Vandal, you can go ahead and pick up the Off-Way skin. Now, y'all know how I feel about this next one before it even comes out of my mouth. This is the Dark Sword Day of the Dead skin, and this one is available for 320 ducats and 250,000 credits. Now, I will admit to you, out of all of the Day of the Dead skins, this is one of the few ones that I didn't like hate with all of my heart and soul. I'm like, it's got some interesting things to it. Like, you can see that it's got two different sides of the pattern around the skull, and I think that's kind of cool and makes for some interesting customizations that you can do with it. However, me personally, it's still a Day of the Dead skin, and I still am not the biggest fan of it. I don't know. And even the Dark Sword, for me, I'm just like, that's not gonna... Like, there's so many other, like, skins that you could have on there, like the Arid skin and the Longsword Fristasin, that this for me is just not, this is just an I'm sorry, can't do it. But if you guys like that aesthetic, or if you're just a collector of skins and you would like to have access to all of the Day of the Dead skins, then go ahead and pick it up just to round out your collection. Right, so we are done pimping our weapons, and we are moving on to our final stage, and it is the biggest troll of them all, the Baro Gatir Glyph icon. This is available for 80 ducats and 50,000 credits. I don't know. I don't know, but if you want, just get. That's all I can put out there into the universe. There are a million other glyphs to pick up. There are lots of content creators that have glyphs available as well. But I mean, hey, you know, fuck all of them. Baro Gatir is love, Baro Gatir is life. But that pretty much does it for this portion of the series, at least. Unfortunately, I don't think that I'm going to have enough time to cover all of the mods that are going to be available. However, I'm sure there are many other content creators out there that are working on something similar to this, or, you know, something for you guys to kind of like research mods on. Me personally, if you see the mods, get all of the mods that you don't have, just because it's better to have in your collection than not to have, and then move on to things that are a little bit more frivolous, like this Baro Gatir. You're gonna pick this up over one of the private mods. Whatever. It's up to you. Whatever you do with your ducats and your credits is your choice. So I'm gonna leave you guys here. Have fun. I hope you guys have been farming up all of your ducats and grabbing all of your credits. Whip out that Secure Electa, grab that Necros, and grab that Chroma, and all get together and stockpile to get ready for the relay. But I'm gonna leave you here. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.